Lord, speak to me that I may speak in living echoes of your word. Amen.
Amen.
You remember getting into trouble as a child, or even as an adult for that matter? When I think back to my own childhood, I can just picture a bewildered parent at wit's end saying, I have told you and told you not to, and you can fill in the blank with your own particular infringement of parental authority. Now, while it's true that I have a few memories of my earliest years in Mexico, most of my primary memories are in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Rock Hill is in the upstate, just south of Charlotte, North Carolina, right on I-77. And my father served a small Presbyterian church there. We lived in the Manse, which was a couple of blocks or so away from the church, on a quiet, dead-end street that was somehow filled with children, all about mine and my sister's ages, just perfect for us to play with. And we kids had this idyllic existence that would be impossible now. We all played in each other's backyards, and even though we knew this is Michael's backyard, and this is Ty and Stephanie's backyard, and this is Jeannie and Jimmy's backyard, and this is Anna and Sarah's backyard, even though we knew whose house each yard went with, it all just seemed like one big backyard to us, and we played all up and down the street, and sometimes even in the street. And our mothers never wondered where we were, and they never called the police or put out an Amber Alert. They just waited until we came home. Or if we were late for supper, they called one of the other houses to see if we were there. Now, at the end of our dead-end street was a big wooden barrier composed of 3 or 4 black and white striped boards nailed to posts, and which signaled that you could go no further. But the best part was what was behind that sign, because what was behind that sign was a creek. And we played in that creek whenever weather allowed. We caught and sold, for reasons which I cannot now remember, tadpoles. We caught frogs and turtles. We messed around with crawdads. We got wet in the creek. We dug holes in the muddy banks of the creek. We played in the kudzu vines that grew all around that creek. It was a mess, and we loved it. Now, the dirt around that creek and all through our neighborhood was not like any dirt I've seen around here, though somebody at 8 o'clock, after 8 o'clock, did say that they have dirt like this. But it's red clay that stains clothing like you wouldn't believe. In fact, when we were younger, and people would ask my 2 brunette parents where my sister and I got our hair color, they used to joke that we got it from that South Carolina red clay. And when that red clay got wet, it made the most delicious, incredible, sticky, gooey, and stick-to-you-y mud. Well, I remember one time in particular when my mother had told us not to play in the mud. She had told us, and I remembered it. I knew it. And when I went out and played in that red clay mud, I knew exactly what I was doing. And I knew it was contrary to what my mother had told us. But it was such good mud. And I remember arguing with her, what was a washing machine for if not to clean the dirt off our clothes? This was one of those times, I'm quite sure, when my frustrated mother said to us, I have told you and told you not to play in the mud. Well, I wonder if this is kind of how the council felt with the apostles. The council has already had the apostles arrested and put into prison for preaching about Jesus. And the funny thing is, it wasn't funny to the council, but in the middle of the night, an angel of the Lord came and opened the prison and told the apostles to get out and keep preaching the gospel. And so when the council sent to have the apostles brought from prison, they weren't there. Well, somebody told on the apostles, said that they were at the temple preaching, so the council sent the temple police to go get them. And now we have the frustrated council saying to the apostles, we have told you and told you not to preach in this man's name. But the next line, The next line is the killer, because the next line is what this passage is really about. In fact, this next line is what the whole book of Acts is about. It's what the church should be about, and it's what our call as Christians is about. We have told you and told you not to preach in this man's name, yet here you have filled Jerusalem with your teaching. I have told you and told you not to play in the mud, yet here you are with your clothes all dirty and your hands and face covered in mud. You have filled Jerusalem with your teaching. Now, I don't know if the apostles felt the glee of children playing in the mud when they were filling Jerusalem with their teaching about Jesus or not, but clearly, in their disobedience of the council, they were doing what they did with gusto, completely, fully investing themselves in it so that there would be no question as to their guilt or innocence before the council. When they set out to tell people about Jesus, they filled Jerusalem with their teaching. Think about that. What if we went about our life that way? What if we filled Kingsport with the good news about Jesus Christ and what he has done for us? What if we filled East Tennessee? What if we filled all of Appalachia or the United States, the world? Well, okay, the good news for us is we don't have to. Most of that work has already been done by the work of those self-same apostles who followed God and disobeyed human orders with such zeal that just those few people were able to fill Jerusalem with their message. Still, the image is there and I can't get it out of my head. What if, when people saw us, they could tell we were Christians? Because just like children who were caught playing in the mud, we were absolutely covered with the results of our actions. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.